Hi. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Today we are turning this lovely PNG-Tuber by Panda Eyes into a Live2D-able, riggable format. So currently all I have is just this one layer. Okay, wait, sorry, I was still setting up. It's also why I started the stream a bit too late. And we want to today cut it so that we can later rig it in Live2D. So this is sort of just the basics of cutting any VTuber model, and also if you have a PNG-Tuber and you have enough rights for that and stuff, you just want to dabble in having a bit more rigging, you can use these techniques easily and with just for free to use programs. So what you need is any art program that can have multiple layers and can export as a Photoshop file. Krita is what I use for that because I don't have enough money to buy Clip Studio, which is what other people like to use if they don't use Photoshop itself. And you can I demonstrate this without doxing myself? I think I can. So you can export, and then when you... Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So here you can find the PSD format in the end, and then you have a Photoshop file. I think it's actually not in the export. Whatever I clicked, we'll do that later also. For now, a few basic things I want to set up, which is a symmetry line. I need to move my tracking for a second. We like symmetry lines. We will not be using it for everything, but I like them at least because it helps a bit expedite the process. So we're gonna try to line that up somewhere in the middle of the model. Specifically, I'm looking for the middle of the eyes. Okay, we're not gonna use it for the face, actually. Actually, we might not be using this at all. So technically, if you have a more symmetrical model, which regular VTubing art often does, model art, you use symmetry tools just to have symmetrical things. Like if you have two arms, just use the symmetry tool. Like if you don't have significant changes, or even if you do have like accessories that are different, use the symmetry tool. It just makes it all easier and faster. Otherwise, cutting. There's a lot of techniques you can use. Technically, if you make a model from scratch, so you also make the art, it makes sense to sort of already cut while you're working on it all. So when you start drawing, you would just like not have the eyes be on the same layer as the face. But obviously we don't have that here. So what I like to do when I have the things that I need to cut from each other on the same layer is I like to copy the layer, which in Krita you can do with this handy button, which also says duplicate layer or mask. And then we have a copy. We're gonna also start off nice with organization. Just do an original folder where I'm gonna map this, and this will be the one I will never be editing. Just so I'm sure of that. And then we just sort of start with a feature. I like to start from the bottom up, I think. Which means I will now, on this layer, erase everything except for the face. So I'm gonna grab a brush, grab my eraser. That's fine. You can do this with mouse and keyboard. I like a drawing tablet. I don't actually like the drawing tablet I currently have, but I also need to get used to it again. I haven't done drawing tablet stuff in a while. You should also remember to hide the layer that you're not currently working on, so you can actually see what the hell you're doing. Okay, I'm doing this with mouse and keyboard, because it is all very hard. Now, a thing that is a bit bad about this art is it has, as you see, it's white and I had a white background, which made this a bit hard. You want to avoid flyaways as much as you possibly can, because they will just make your life harder later on. You can get rid of them also later, but it makes it harder to just auto mesh everything. It makes it so you have to manually mesh. So what we want to do is sort of get as close to just the face as possible. And once we have that, so we want these outlines. I also, the white outlines don't help, but that's fine. Okay. Do need to be a bit careful now at the chin area, because this is a bit harder. Turn that brush size a bit down and actually go in with the drawing tablet, just so I can have a bit more control over it all. Getting rid of all of this. So the basic principles of cutting. Cutting is not the most intuitive thing, but it also kind of is if you can think in like elementary shapes and things. Essentially, the goal of cutting is to separate everything on its own layer that needs to be moving independently of each other. So, for example, you want the mouth, the lips on a different layer than the teeth, because if you want to move the lips open, you still want to be able to move the teeth differently later in Live2D. It gets a bit more clearer when you do a bit of Live2D rigging. Generally, I would recommend just going, like, Live2D has its own like tutorial files, but you can also find some by awesome artists that you can get. Just sort of, I mean, depends, like there are more and less expensive ones if you want to just like look at what rigging looks like. Live2D does come in free and also has a free trial for like a bit over a month. So that is also a thing you can do. In fact, the model you're seeing of me right now, here, was made with a free trial. By now I have bought Live2D while working on my version 2 model, which I'll be debuting hopefully soon, sometime in September maybe, if I get it done. And I did, however, get a student discount, because I am currently a student in a university, and if you have a university email, you can apply for a student discount. And it's way cheaper than the normal price. Would recommend if you have that. So we are approximating a head shape here. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate. Most of this will be covered. Like, as you can see, this part will be covered by the hood, and this will be covered by the hair and things like that. And now we go in. And we, what I like to do is, I want to color pick the main skin color, and then I want to sort of just draw over everything on this layer. We'll lock the transparency so I don't have to worry about like going over lines or anything. Whee! And this might look a bit ugly, and I completely agree, it is very egg. And I just noticed something that I should have done for this step. My program's a bit slow to react right now. I would like to undo. Thank you. And that is, I do want to copy this layer. And I want to copy it specifically because then I can sort of don't have to, if I, for example, cut the eyes next, I don't have to cut the entire head again. You know, I can just sort of cut it all more down. Oh god, there's a pixel down here somewhere. Ah. Like if I hover over this, you can sort of see that it has like almost the entire canvas on it and not just the face, which to me says there is somewhere a flyaway. There are better ways to detecting this than what I'm currently doing. It's fine. We're gonna do the other method, which I like to do, which is just sort of find the form affecting things here. Technically you could invert it and then try to erase over all of these, but that is actually, at least with the program and the way I'm using it, not the best way. I have also not been using the eraser, I just noticed. So that's fun. So that's very nice and good. You know, I'm here to be pawn, or whatever. It's also always hard because my screen is a bit dirty and I can never tell if it's dirt or if it's like a pixel somewhere. We'll deal with it later, honestly. Working clean from the start is a good thing to be doing, but also... So, we will now do that thing again that I did earlier. Let me also... This model I got the file from the wonderful Panda Eyes with white lines around it. Why are you not working? Oh, because because I'm stupid. Ooh. Oh, I'm pressing also the wrong button. Listen, sometimes you just gotta be a bit stupid. Okay. So we do want to get this kind of as like smooth and normal as possible, which I'm doing a bad job at currently. That's okay, kind of. Yeah. And then we're gonna use our trusty tool, the magic wand again. And we're gonna, of course, invert this. And now we're gonna make a new layer on top of this. And we're gonna pick black, and I like this pen that does not have pressure sensitivity. Now I like to find pretty similar sizes to these outlines in the original model. And with this, I'm gonna make all the outlines. Well, actually, I'm noticing because of the shit job I did before, I might have to actually freehand this even more than I'm currently am. And just crank that smoothing. And with this, we're gonna make the head outline, which I also should not be drawing this slowly, but that's okay. I also would like to say that the model I'm currently using and stuff have not been done at the PC I'm currently working on, because I didn't have things back then. You know what I just realized? I do want the symmetry tool, please. I just want it not in the center of the canvas. Hi, welcome to the stream. I don't think I'm gonna do all the head angles for this model, just because this is supposed to be a very basic rig, and this model kinda doesn't have the straight face front-facing view. I'm turning the PNG-Tuber model of Panda Eyes into a form where I can hopefully Live2D rig it next week or so. I think that's okay. We're also gonna continue this line into the hairline. What are you up to today? And now we have our outline of a head shape. And we are actually gonna also adjust this a bit. I'm gonna clean out this up first. So we're kind of doing one of the hardest parts of the rigging process, which is, oh well, the cutting process. If you don't have the original files. Ooh, what are you making for dinner? In my opinion, at least. Which is to... What the hell? Can y'all hear that? No, you can't. Okay. There's a really loud plane or something outside. Select invert. Ooh. And we're gonna unhide that again. And we're gonna pick the color again. And then we're gonna hide it again. And make a new layer. And color it in. Whee! Okay. So this is gonna be our face base. Yeah, we can save. Which, yeah. You should save. Remember to always save stuff. I tried to do this before stream and then I got so hung up on it that I kind of forgot to start stream. Okay. So this is what it currently is all like, right? And now we move on to even more details. We are first gonna name these layers though, because naming them now is important. We have face base and face line, and we're gonna group them into face. The layer names and their hierarchy and everything will later, when you import it into Live2D, be relevant. So it is... yeah, so names like layer 01 and 02, yeah. You know what's fun? My current version 2 model, I kinda got like frustrated towards the end of cutting and just stopped naming everything. So I just have a bunch of layers, and when you copy layers in the program I'm using, they just have the name copy of whatever. So I have 2 currently also here, copy of background. And when you import that, Live2D just also names them copy of whatever, and you just sort of have to hope and pray that you find your layers. Just annoying. Don't be like me. Yeah. So that's fun, for sure. We are gonna, I think, move on now to the eyes. Which I'm starting to realize I might have just... My new drawing tablet's buttons are laid out differently than my old drawing tablet, so I keep hitting wrong buttons and it's frustrating me. I am starting to realize though that I might have to sort of redo this entire model, but that's okay. It's fine. I don't like that chin. The chin is important. Give me a hot second. Whee! Yeah. There we go. We're gonna call that good. Okay. Okay. Now we're doing the eyes. So as I've just realized, I get to redo this entire thing, which is fine. Turn off the symmetry tool. So what I want to do for that, it's not draw on the same layer and all that stuff that I can't see. Turn the opacity of this down a bit and hide this layer. Thank you. And now we sort of don't use the skin color, but black. I'm doing good, by the way. This is normal. You should feel very annoyed and frustrated, I think. I think that's part of the process. Whee! I don't have this drawing tablet set up good yet, so it's kind of all a bit wonky. Why is this moving so bad? Why is there so many nicks in this line? This is not the way it's supposed to be. Let's just try again, okay? Also, this drawing tablet has twice crashed my computer since I've gotten it, so that also inspires confidence or whatever. Let's just turn this higher. Does that help? A bit. Perhaps, maybe a bit. Okay, we'll see. Maybe I just need to, yeah, that helps. Just need to be more confident. Just do the lines. Do the lines. Ah, come on. Okay. Okay, alright. Ah! I don't like that I can't, well, I can technically. But it's hard. You don't rotate, right? Yeah, no you don't. Okay. I'm just making these thicker and thicker, that's not the point. There we go. We will technically need only one eye, but I do want to at least indicate the second eye. Come on, pin, do the thing I want you to do. Why are you so big? Oh, because I used to so big. The reason why we only need one eye is in Live2D, generally you want to be able to copy the eyes, so you don't have to do it twice. So you rig one eye fully, and then you copy the eye. But you do want the second eye in there, so in case you have, for example, multiple colored eyes, you don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm way too queer to be doing these straight lines. Even though they're not even that straight. Whatever. I'm doing this for someone else. I want this to look nice. So, we now have the one layer with this, and even that is, it's fine, but I like to have more layers for my upper eyelash just because of how the blink animation works, so I'm duplicating this again and hiding the one layer. Yeah, lines without zigzag. And now we essentially do this. Yep, that looks good. and we erase the rest, and now we have one layer with just this on it. And now we go to the other layer where we had this, and we kind of do just the exact opposite. We do this. Now, the overlay between these two is kind of sometimes hard to find, which is why I'm going to turn both of these to a bit less than 50 and have them both on. We do want them to have a bit of overlay so they don't separate as easily, but we don't want the overlay to be as strongly as it is right now. We only want like maybe this amount of overlay. Or at least that's generally what I found is good to have. Now, do the naming thing, which we do upper eyelash, and I like to call these side eyelashes because I don't know what they're called otherwise, and we're gonna make a new folder, which, why do I even bother to highlight them? I'm gonna have to drag them in there anyway. And we're gonna name this group IR. Now you might notice this is, from our view, the left eye. And you are correct. And you might think, Sunny, are you stupid? And the answer to that is yes, but not in this case. See, Live2D and VTube Studio use your eyes, right? So your right eye should also be tracking to the model. Well, no. Whatever. It's from the model's point of view, so everything on this side is right and everything on this side is left, and then when you put the right parameters on it, then it's like, does the right thing. It will still look to you as if you're looking in the mirror, but it's still, because it just does that. I suddenly find that I can't follow the logic anymore of the naming, but that's fine. We're gonna make another layer in here, and we're gonna make the bottom eyelash now, and then we're gonna do the iris, and we also need to do the white of the eye on a layer. And we don't even just need to do the iris, but I also like to do the highlights and the pupil on its own layers for physics. And the eye shine anyway, because you move that when you close your eye. God, that's ugly. Why is this program giving me so much trouble? Why is this pressure sensitivity so fricked? Give me smooth pressure. Honestly, give me smooth pressure, please. Does that help? Oh yeah, it does. Now I just need to do it good. Did I just physically turn my entire body to do this? Maybe. I also maybe need to turn the opacity of this full again so I can actually double check. Yeah, so it does go fully to the corner of the eye almost. That's fine. Just want to state as truthful as I can without pulling out the vectoring things. See, that's also a thing. Currently, it's not detecting my drawing tablet as a drawing tablet, but as a mouse, which is annoying. Can you do the drawing tablet thing again, please? Hi, dear drawing tablet. Can you do the thing, please? Yep, now it does. I am sort of very frustrated by this drawing tablet. It is a very old one, but even my before that was kind of even older, I think, and it still was bad. It wasn't this bad. But I got it, like, technically used off of eBay. Whatever. Which also, if you've ever wondered why model art costs that much, is because they also need to do everything on its own layer, so it can ultimately be rigged good. I hate this a bit, but that's fine. I'm choosing to do this out of my own free spirits, and I need to rotate it a bit. Why does this, how do I rotate things in this art program? Quote unquote art program. Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Now, also in this, we're gonna make another folder, and we're gonna call it Iris Art. And before, we're just gonna do that. So the iris again has a non-fluid outline. So again, I'm gonna get out my nice non-pressure sensitive brush, whomst I love, and I'm actually gonna use the ellipse tool, which is currently giving me trouble. Why is it all the way over there? I'm gonna use my mouse for this then. Why is it doing this? What the hell? Oh, because I'm also not on a layer. It's drawing on the group. That's fine. We're gonna. Sorry. I need to not put my stylus and hold it in my mouth when I try to speak. Now you might see it sticks out a bit over here, but that's fine. That is actually what we want. And I'm gonna move the iris folder out of the eye folder for a sec so I can do this. Having the iris a bit bigger than the eye, if that's just the style is what it is, that's fine, that's good. You want the entire iris in there. You don't want like a cut off edge. You want it to be completely smooth, so when you move the iris down, for example, you can have the upper edge just be there and be smooth and be fine. Now, we're gonna color pick again. Whee! Oh, there's a gradient here. That's cool. Gradients are nice for eyes. Love gradients. Don't want that completely gone. Gonna start us off with another layer. Put that underneath the outline layer. And fill it in with the basic iris color. So technically you can, some people's VTuber models' eyes go up to like, I don't know, 20 layers. If you feel funky, you can do that. I'm not gonna do that here. I am just gonna do some basic layers so the entire iris, the colored part of the iris is gonna be just one layer. Which also I need to use this layer now to color pick. Well, we're gonna do this with a shadow later. So we're gonna use this. And hide you again, please. Thank you. And we're gonna first of all bam this eye. That's too much. Bam that a bit less. What a very mild gradient, thank you. And then we wanna... Oh. I forgot a thing. I should not just willy-nilly airbrush it. Because then I have flyaways that are annoying to erase. I need to sneeze. Okay. I had enough time to mute myself. Whee! I'm gonna layer lock this first, and then I'm gonna give it just a touch. That's too much of a touch. Just a light touch. That's fine. That looks nice. And then we're gonna do a little blob down here. Whoop. Not really what I'm looking for. There we go. That looks nicer. And then we're gonna do the iris, which I'm just double checking. Sorry, the pupil, which is completely black. So my plans for this PNG are to be able to have blinky eyes. If I can, I would also like to show how to do eye movement, like this. Don't get dizzy. And also do some physics on the eye, like mine that do like a little shimmer. I don't know why I thought leaning into the camera would help. Wait, here. Like my eyes have jiggle physics, which is fun. And I wanna do that for other people also. Ooh. Nope. 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 Yep. Oh boy. Oh boy. Turn that down. Just a notch. That's fine. Make it a bit bigger. Like that. I've also noticed throughout cutting this that the other eye is very not symmetrical with this eye, which means in general, but it's also similar size enough that I will just cut this one eye and later just copy it in Live2D. Yeah. That's fine though. Yeah, so technically I could also try to make this model like move its head, but it's a bit more tricky to make it look smooth and not like very weird, because it's already at a 3/4 angle and it's then harder to get that like other angle in there. Yeah, else I probably would do it. Gonna do the eye shine. I am trying to stay as faithful as I can while still being able to produce a pretty nice model. This would be different if I were to fully remake this model, this art for rigging. So if you have art that was specifically made for rigging, that is just a front-facing neutral pose person, you can do just a lot with it. But I'm trying to sort of make a tutorial where like anyone could technically turn their PNG-Tuber into a Live2D rigged model. So the amount of work I'm doing currently would probably be not as important if you had a better drawing tablet than I currently do, that you trust more and have more accuracy on, and also if you have a bit higher res things. Just because the compression of the file I have, you see the anti-aliasing extremely harshly, and it's sort of hard to like make the lines be really separate without like weird hard lines, which I now have decided to remake things. Also, this mouth is open, which makes it a bit harder. It does give me a good idea of what the teeth look like though, that they have like little fangs here, which I do want to include. But yeah. So this is the eye, and I'm also gonna add the iris in here, and I didn't add it in, I just moved it up above. Get in there, thank you, and then also get under everything else, please. Not out, not out. Layer management can be hard sometimes. Okay, I want y'all in here, and I want the eye to just, the iris to be underneath it. Thank you. And underneath the iris, we're gonna add another layer, which will be the eye white, for which I hit the wrong button. For which I'm referring to just the eye white back, which we don't want hard-coded in the face, because it'll be harder to hide it. Why did I do it like this? We already have white selected. Yeah. And we're just gonna try and make the shape as neatly as possible. Might have to do some cleanup work on this. I wanna actually kinda hide all of this. Because while it does help, it does make it also a bit harder to see what I've done. And I want this to be one continuous shape. That pretty much hits. It doesn't need to be completely under, so it like has less chance of peeking out. You can also technically do this bigger and use a mask instead, which is sometimes recommended, and it does make sense why you would want to do that, but I'm trying to keep this a bit simple. So we're just doing the basic tactics and basics. So we're just doing this as one layer instead of doing weird inverted mask things, which I might do anyway for the lips. Might do inverted masks anyway, because actually for the mouth it helps a lot to have inverted masks. Now, let's check here. Yep, as I thought, I went a bit over. That's okay. No, I do want to hide that, please. And then I want to go in and make the edges look nicer, and then also fill up this spot a bit. So, yeah. So you want this line to sort of be continuous. I am sort of expecting a basic foundational knowledge of how anything in life works, like how a eye works in general. Like, not like on a biology level, but like on like a physical level, I guess. That like the iris needs to be inside of the eyeball, and you have an eyeball there. And that the reason you have shadows is because stuff is in front of it. Sorry, I know, I just have so many high expectations for my viewers. Also, why again is my graphic tablet not doing the graphic tablet thing? Why does this not have pressure? Making my life so hard. No, I did like that line. Okay. That fine? Think so. I see a little thing though. I see a little silhouette of a man that I want to fix, please. Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Okay. Oh, I have this still locked. Now we have a little weird edge here. We're just gonna smooth that out. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. We're good. We're good. No one be worried. Other than me. No one other than me gets to be worried. So this is the progress we have made. It's this face also. Here. Great. Let's continue on then. Yeah. So we're gonna turn off. Let's unfold this all, turn off the eye, move it down to where everything is. Oh yeah, I put this outside of the eye layer for reasons. Here we go. Nope, nope, go back into the folder. I just want you underneath the iris. Thank you. So now we have an eye! Yay! An avocado! Thanks! And we're gonna continue with more eye things, because I just remembered a thing, which is to add a shadow. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Or do I want to do shadows at the end? No, I do want to do this now, so I don't forget. So, we're gonna... Live2D has 2, technically 3 layer styles, depending on how you count. One is normal, and one is multiply, and the other is addition. Addition I don't like to use as much, because I don't fully know how it works. So for the eyeshadow, we just kind of want to follow this line of the upper eyelash. Yep. And as you might notice, I'm going quite a bit out of bounds here, which has to do with the fact that in Live2D you have such a thing called clipping masks and just clipping in general. So I can't do that good in Krita for some reason. I always struggle with that to make masks happen, because it's different than Photoshop, where I learned digital art, but I don't really want to use Photoshop on stream for reasons. And also for art purposes. And I've been... I don't know, whatever. I don't need to defend myself towards you. So yeah, now we have the shadow, and... Yay! Now we're gonna continue on with a different thing. Which will be... Let's do an eyebrow, because that seems fairly easy and I want a little break. So again, we have static lines, which I like, makes it a bit easier and I don't have to do as much pressure control. Why you see me adjust the pen size and then go down is because, as I said, this brush just does not have pressure, and I like that about it. I picked it specifically because of that. For these kinds of lines. Forgot to make it more transparent. And so I'm just going up and then comparing how big the brush is. You know what? We're gonna do this easier. We're gonna make my life easier. That looks good. Yep. Look at me go! Look at me not make my life hard, and instead use all the tools that are given to me. Yeah. We are gonna subject aware select and then invert and then go here and then do this in full and color pick the color and then hide it again and then slap the color in here. Whee! And then also make sure the correct layers on top of each other. Now, so far you've seen me not separate, so like separate line art and things, but actually for the eyebrow, we don't need that. We are going to merge them together. I also just remembered I forgot to label the shadow of the eye. Eyeshadow. I also forgot to label all the iris things. See, this is how it starts. Okay. And this is how me forgets what everything is. These are the eyeliner. Now you might be wondering why I'm giving everything an R despite despite technically not making a different layer in this. That is because later in Live2D I can then remember to change that R into an L when I copy the I. Now, naming layers is a thing that I think is personal because, honestly, it just needs to work for you. That's all it needs to do. You can technically just also not label anything, but you're just gonna cause yourself more pain in the future. So I would recommend it. And whatever you name your layer, you just need to be able to find it later. That's all it needs to do. I need to drink something, and I just did. I'm surprised how fuzzy my mouth is already. Hasn't even been that long in the stream. So now all that's left of facial features that I want to do is the nose and the mouth. The mouth is a bit complicated, so we're just gonna real quick do a few lines for the nose. Name my layers early on. Get this brush. Zoom a bit more in. Whee! I should also put this layer appropriately down, and then I would have noticed that I didn't have a black line. Come on. Thank you. Here we go. Okay. I am also gonna put the nose and the eyebrows in a folder, just because I like to have them in a folder, because they tend to else also get lost. I like to have everything in a folder, so in the end I can just collapse everything and have it be findable that way. And I've had the mistake of just naming the folder eyebrows and then never, but having the nose also in there, so, and then never being able to find my nose, which was annoying. Come on. I really need to stop hitting the reverse button. Okay. So, as you see, this nose also has a highlight and a shadow, and so are these highlights also on the face. We are gonna make those, but I am gonna want to do the mouth first. So the thing about the mouth is, this is an open mouth that we have in this reference image, I guess. And that's fine for a PNG-Tuber, but for us it's not that great, because this is hard to modify in two shapes. So what we want is the teeth as a layer, the back of the mouth, technically a tongue, even if it's just a shape, and we want the lips. So, what we're gonna do is we're making a group folder and we're naming it mouth. And then we're gonna make some more lines in here. I'm going to start with the teeth because that's what we have in this image. Yes, we have the teeth. And I would like to keep, as I said, this as close as possible. Oh, God, I hate this. Keep hitting the wrong button. It's annoying. Technically, also, you can make anything in any order you like. With rigging, there can be a bit of issues if you do things in a completely weird order, because you have hierarchies that can sometimes be tricky to untangle. But for making art, honestly, whatever. Come on. We also want to draw more of these teeth than is currently visible. So this is sort of the line that is going between them. I'm gonna make the end a bit more nice. That wasn't what I meant. That also isn't what I meant. Maybe like that. So we want a upper teeth and a lower teeth. For this model, that should be enough. If you have a complexer model and want to be able to turn your head, yeah, I do have teeth. You do want to have a back teeth. Why did I open my mouth and point into my mouth as if you could see my back teeth? Hee hee. So we're gonna copy this line. And then we're gonna make the teeth above the line, the upper teeth. And then we're gonna make the lower teeth. Oh god, wait. I should make the teeth the one a different layer and then merge them later. Because I'm not that stupid. For the lower teeth also, we want to not have this line be creasy, because the crease part is part of the upper teeth. And having sort of a dip in your lower teeth when you open your mouth and separate the teeth is not a thing we want. Also, unless I do V-bridger rigging, these teeth and the way they're seen here will technically not be seen ever. Because, sadly, you can't really easily make it so you can open your lips without opening your teeth. Because Live2D Studio generally just sees your mouth being open and doesn't care about your teeth. You need a V-bridger, which can use the tracking, the infrared tracking and general tracking that an iPhone capabilities have, to be able to do that easily. So, as wonderful as the smile is, sadly I won't be able to recreate it easily. Like, I can do V-bridger rigging, don't get me wrong, but that's not the purpose of this tutorial. The purpose of this tutorial is make an easy rig that anyone can sort of try to replicate with their own PNG-Tuber. They want to try what it's like to be tracked and be able to make a bit more expressions. Whee! Yeah. Okay. So this is the upper teeth that has a hole there. Try to avoid holes. They're not fun. Oh! Hi, Panda Eyes! I'm sorry if I missed those messages for a bit. Hopefully I didn't. Whatever. Yeah. So that's the upper teeth. Now we're gonna do the same with the lower teeth, for which I'm gonna hide the upper teeth. But I am also, as I said, gonna merge this line with it. So now, if we hide the other line, this is completely one shape, which is what we want. And so, for the lower teeth though, we do want it a bit different. Like I said, we don't want this crease here, so that when we open the mouth, it actually looks like the top teeth are the ones that are doing things. Hide yourself. No, hide yourself again. Thank you. So we're gonna pick out the black, and we're gonna zoom in a bit more, and we're gonna erase this hind part of this line, and then just sort of continue the line. Continue the line as way. if my stupid drawing tablet would give me pressure sensitivity. Please. Please, that's all I want. It's just something to have pressure sensitivity. Why is this so annoying? I hate this. Why does it do these? Why? Just sort of like forgets that it's a drawing tablet whenever I like go out of the canvas for a sec or too long. I don't know why. It just fully does that. Okay. So now this line is better and straight or whatever. Not that straight is any better, actually, I disagree with that. Queer is better and it's not even that straight, so you know, it's more closeted straight than anything. What am I talking about? Ah, yes, model making. And bad graphic tablets. So we now again want to sort of fill in the shape with white. And do it. Do it. Whee! I am gonna clean up the bottom edge, I think. Because I got stuff. Oi! Oi, look at me be so confident with my brush strokes. Slash eraser strokes, whatever. Either something big fell outside, or stream is lagging for you. Oh no. Why? Why? Let me go see if I can do anything about that. Oh yes, the stream bitrate is a bit too high. Let me change that then. Somehow. Can I change this while it's live? Should be able to, right? Just like that. And our stream bitrate is too high. You know, it's fun when your bitrate is too high, and that's what makes the thing lag. Did that apply? Did that work? Did I even hit apply? I did apply, okay. Might have to restart the stream. Oh no, that went down. Why? I can't figure it out. If it's too laggy, you can come over to YouTube, which I think should be fine. It's not complaining to me, so maybe it's fine. Who knows? I always have technical issues. It's bothering me. I don't like it, but whatever. Okay. So now we have other teeth. More teeth. And we're also gonna merge this. And we have a bit of a gap here, which isn't great. So we are gonna... audio is a bit crushy also. Where someone needs to fix my stream at some point. Okay, we are then gonna adjust this bottom teeth a bit. Needs to be up here, huh? Don't want this dark thing in there though. So we are gonna make it different. Comparable to last stream. Okay, I think I was okay with last stream's audio quality until I can figure out how compressors work. At least it's not quiet as all hell anymore. Why is Twitch acting up? Why is the Twitch stream acting up? Why are you still getting 600 bitrate? Wait, I'm gonna restart the Twitch stream. Maybe that will help it. Whee! Oh, went straight back up to 6,000. Why? I don't know, wait. I thought I could turn the bitrate back up again, but no. It's great. It's great. Don't completely dislike it or whatever. Why does this happen to me? Don't like that my streams always have tech issues. Like, it's not like I don't have good internet. Twitch is complaining that the bitrate is too high. And last stream I did technically have it turned lower because that's also what the internet told me to do. And I was like, Twitch can't take 6,000 bitrate. Okay, then I won't, I guess. I guess I'm gonna give it worse quality. And then last time it was like, it's so good! And it's so good quality, it's so good bitrate, Twitch was like, and I was like, okay, so does that mean the info I just found was outdated and Twitch can now take 6,000 bitrate? Guess what? Nope. It can't. Oh, whatever. Even more reasons why I kinda didn't want to stream on Twitch anymore. Also, Twitch community, whatever. It's just hard being alive, you know? Okay, that looks fine. Now we're just gonna do a simple back of mouth. Doesn't have to be fantastic. Just needs to be red and big. Big red. Big red. We're just gonna make a circle, like an oval. I don't fully know the details of... Well, I can look them up. I don't know them off the top of my head, you know? So I can't find them out. I kinda don't want to fix everything right now. I'm not in the mood to do tech stuff. I just want to do this and get the cutting done in one setting. best as possible. Yeah, right. I'm very willing to eventually fix all of this, but not right now. That's a bit too bright red. Let's go a bit more in the pinkish direction. That's darker. Yep, that works. Now we're deselecting this, and then we're making another circle. This time even lighter and more orange. Whee! So, if you don't have art for the back of mouth, it is completely valid to just do what I'm doing. It doesn't need to be hella detailed, unless you want it to be. Covering swearing. Yeah, kinda. You can make technically all of a medal as detailed or undetailed as you want it to be. Currently, I'm sort of following the style that I see, which is kinda technically I should be lining this tongue, but I'm also, I think, fine with having this just be unlined. Young back of, I'm gonna call it mouth back, because I don't like back of mouth. That sounds awful. Yay! And now we're gonna make some lips to cover it all, which in our case will just be straight lines. Woo! I actually want them more neutral than this even. Bam. I would like to taper the ends, so I am gonna do that. Then I'm gonna copy this line and we have a top and bottom lip. Yay! Ah. I deleted the line. Because again, this graphic tablet is new and it hates me and I hate it. Okay. I think maybe either big things are being thrown around outside or it's thundering. Oh, it is actually raining with the sun fully shining. Kinda wanna go see if there's a rainbow. But I have to look out the window that's not on the side of the building. Do I wanna do that? Maybe. Could report back. So now, like I said, I'm gonna be making inverse masks for the mouth, which essentially keep deleting layers. At least there's nothing on them yet. Which essentially function like anytime it's not covering the things in the mouth, I want them to show. So I did fully just not do the thing. I do want these in a color that makes it clear for me that they should not be visible. and I need them to be a straight edge here at the bottom and be at the corner of the mouth. So I am gonna fill this rectangle. These will, in the final model, never be seen. So it's fine. And I want a second one of these also, that I want to be aligned with each other. So I'm technically just gonna, I'm just gonna copy that layer. They can technically overlap, but it's not the greatest thing if they do. So as we can see, I'm gonna zoom in a bit more and deselect this. They are not fully lined up, so I am, I think, gonna move them the blue one a bit, so this doesn't happen. Okay. Now these two will never be seen. We will see them again next week, but for now, it's buffering. Wait. Oh. Okay. So currently what we have is this, which I think is very lovely. Don't you think so? So this would be enough to make a whole Live2D animated face, technically speaking. Of course, we don't just want to have the face, we want to have as much of the model as possible. So I am actually gonna find another reference image for the hair, for which I need Discord to please move, thank you. Because I remember a thing. Here we go. Boop, boop. Boop. So this will be our hair reference, because as you can see here, some of it is covered by the hood, which is technically fine. But it's better if we have more. I knew that my Discord was on stream, and I also knew that it was in streamer mode, so it's fine. And I am also on my own Discord server, which, by the way, you can join. It should be linked in the description and in my Connect With Me panel on Twitch. Okay, so hair. Yay. I do want this outside of the mouth folder, please. Thank you. We are also gonna bring back the full model, maybe. Just something happened. Sorry, I'm having fun. Um, we don't need this head anymore, technically. So you can bring this entire model back, but we are gonna copy it again. Are we? Maybe even not. I think it's fine since I'm not actually cutting, I'm more recreating the thing. The panda ears. Yeah. Why is there... Oh, interesting. Spice up your life. Okay. We are gonna make one shape for the hair, because I think that's fine. Like, technically, if you have, like, a lot of strands, it can be good to make a lot of layers for the hair, but also, I think in this context, it's fine to do one big hair shape. I am gonna make another group that I'm gonna call just model, because with the amount of reference images and stuff I have, it can get confusing otherwise. And also this makes it just easier in general for me later on. Yeah. So now I can hide all of that in one go. Whee! My ass hurts. Been sitting too long. Why is it like that? Why are you like this? Why are you running? Ah, cause you're underneath. It's... Why are you... Oh, cause I also have this on full blast. I... So come on, baby, let's take you high. I feel like the smoothing's really inconsistent on this. It's less inconsistent on my freaking laptop. I will fix all of these crossings because I have learned also regularly to do this just because it's kind of easier than trying to temper all these lines. Like, you can temper them, I just also find it hard sometimes. Sometimes it's just easier to do these. Unless you do it bad. So if I don't finish the entire cutting process today, I might just do the rest off stream and then sort of check back in next week and do the rigging part. Because I also think technically that's the more interesting part, but I wanted to show this anyway. Because, you know, it's still a part of the process. And a part that needs to be done. I might record the rest off stream. I am thinking of cutting this all into a YouTube video. So, and do like a little basic tutorial. And so I might record the rest of the cutting also on YouTube. Because there are certain things, like the ears and the hood and stuff, that are a bit could do with a bit more explanation. And yeah. Oh, it's just on top of the eye. Okay. It's just this. Yeah. I'd. Cool. And now we're gonna fill this shape with a color. Mm. Then we're gonna do the other shape that's on top of it. This thingy. The shadow. Why am I always having trouble banning someone? Eh. Okay. No issues. Okay, sorry for that. So this looks like it's just sort of following where the hair is going. Have fun at work! Thank you for checking in. Eh. Honestly, it's been a bit since I've gotten a bot message. For a bit it's been better. Kinda surprised about that. But I did also finally put like chat rules and stuff. Eh, it's not a close shape. It's fine. I know exactly where. Whee! You. Ah, I'm gonna have to go do the window thing again. It's that time of stream! Yep. Woo! Let's do a save. Ah! My blinds fell. I'm blind again. Alrighty. Okay, so we have head, we have face. Isn't that enough? Not really. There's so much more to this model. We are gonna name of this correct though. We don't need to rename the hairline, we're just gonna merge it anyway. Same with the hair shadow. So this is technically just hair. We're gonna add it to model. Get in there. Get in here. Thank you. So, oh. That's fine. That's fine. The moment I start questioning everything I've ever done in my life. Oh well. So, I think if we just put the hood there, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. So we're gonna make the hood, and then we're gonna make the ears separately. And we're also gonna make this part of the hood that's behind the head separately, and the second ear that's also behind the head. And it will make it all okay. Tiny bit bigger. Yep. That's not the color I want to use. My hands are so unsteady. I'm so tired. Honestly, I just laid in bed all day today. I did technically have a uni thing, but I completely forgot about it until after it had happened. And luckily by now I have like a friendly acquaintance in university who I can ask about missed things. And luckily she was there and she took notes, which is nice. Yeah. I don't know. I'm having a hard time recently. Just doing anything. Like, I could have done so much today. Like, I could have worked on my own model. I could have prepared better for the stream. There was so much I wanted to talk about. But of course not. No, I just laid in bed all day and watched non-relevant YouTube videos, and then occasionally stopped watching YouTube videos to scroll on my phone, because that's better. To be fair with myself, I'm going through a tough time, blah blah blah. You know, sometimes you just gotta be a bit pissy with yourself. It's taken shape. This looks way more okay. Kinda. Okay. I have a fly in my face. I bought groceries. I ate food on the way to groceries. I think yeah, no, I did eat breakfast. And I know I drank a bit. Also, I get to be as hard on myself as I want. Right? That's the law. People were Panda. Guys, I did watch an anime this week on the recommendation of Panda Eyes, whose model I'm currently making, which it was Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. And whoo boy, let me tell you, a place I did not expect to find decent association rep. Honestly, good on them. That was nice. And a bit of, like, technically it could count as the ID rep. I would like to count it as such. But it's also a bit more complicated than that in the series. And yeah, it's fun. It's great. I love it. It was nice, and I cried yesterday, I think. Gotta make a new holder. I need to actually speak and not put the stylus in my mouth. We call it hood front, and we slap these in there. Yeah. It's all coming together, baby. It's all coming together. Now we make hood bag. But first we put hood front in model at the top, please. At the top, I said. Thank you. Whee! I can also just copy the panda ear. Also, I need to actually name the things. Hood front. Panda pink front. Panda black front. Just gonna copy that. It should be fine. And we move it. And we flip it. And we have our second ear. Lovely. And we name it back instead. Back. And then we make hood shape, which technically only happens down here. So I don't need to make it up here. So I'm not gonna do it. Technically, if you were to fully do separation, you always need to draw the back of things. So the back of this hood, if you were to turn the head, you would need it. I'm not gonna do that though. So I'm not gonna. It's as easy as that. Ugh. It's getting a bit much with the layers that are visible. Whee! Which also, the reason why I just remembered that I watched the anime was because, like I said, Panda Eyes recommended it, and also Kaede wears a lot of panda stuff, and it is a plot point. Also, they go see pandas at some point. And also, Panda Eyes has named his cat Kaede after her, the anime one. And that's also how we got around to the conversation where he recommended me the anime in the first place, which was nice. I love pets of people. Mm-hmm. I am probably gonna do the cutting of all the shading off stream. Maybe some more stuff. I don't know how far I'll get. I am also gonna extend this hood back to behind the head, because as you can see there's a little bit showing here behind the neck. So I am not gonna fill the shape, but I am gonna include this, and we'll make a shape here. So it's good. I'm holding the stylus the wrong way around, as one does. Whee! I kind of want to turn off my limiter so y'all can, not the limiter, the noise gate, so y'all could hear the rain just now, but it's stopping again, so it's not worth it. Am I gonna be confused about that layer name later on? Probably. Is that fine? Whatever. Yeah. Rain be loud right now. It's taken shape, slowly but surely. We need a neck still. And I think I'm gonna do the neck, and then I'll do the hoodie, the rest of the hoodie and the shading off stream. So for the neck, another important thing, if you were to do head angles, but also in general, is to extend it up a bit. Because if you were to tilt your neck or turn your head, you else would see the sort of cutoff point. And we don't want that, so we need to extend it up a bit into the head. Technically, for a full rig, you want it to be as high as the eye is. I'm not fully gonna do that, but I'm still gonna extend it a bit in case I want to do these head angles, headsy. Eh. My heads are having issues, that's okay. Ah, sorry. For hitting my microphone. I hope it doesn't sound too bad when I do that. I'm excited for temperatures to cool down again to a point where I can exist in this apartment without a fan, because that will make my audio quality way easier to manage, because I need to do way less filtering. Woo! Okay. Why is that? Why did that not? Oh. Here. There we go. So, I think this is where we'll leave it up for today. By next stream or next Friday, I should have the rest done. Maybe also not. I'm not gonna make a promise really on that because I'm writing an exam next Thursday and that takes priority. So if if I spend my time practicing, then you won't. Then I just won't. Also, next Friday, I will probably do a collab stream with tier lists, so follow me to go watch that. It'll be a bunch of fun. Yeah, do all the like and subscribe and following that y'all do on the platform. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!